juries that didn't convict the abolitionists who helped the runaway slaves escape.
Well, everyone, it's time to go home.
I don't believe we're finished here.
Looks like we'll just have to be a hung jury.
Only if Mrs. Sims refuses to change her mind.
I believe you know how I feel.
Yes, and now so does the judge. He'd like to speak with you tomorrow in the morning.
You stood in my courtroom, you swore an oath. No matter what you thought, you would vote according to my instructions.
Well, why bother having a jury at all if you're just going to force them to vote a certain way?
Nobody's forcing you.
Well, if I was voting guilty like the rest of them, I wouldn't be sitting here now, would I?
Mrs. Sims, are you familiar with the term jury nullification?
Is that like a mistrial?
No, that's when a juror decides to vote his or her conscience rather than the law. Sounds to me like that's what you've been doing.
Well, it's a stupid law. I really can't agree with it.
Do you understand I can hold you in contempt of court, fine you, and send you to jail?
For having an opinion? For just doing my civic duty?
For tampering with the jury.
All right, let me get this straight. Y'all spend like half a day weeding everybody out to make sure that nobody's biased one way or the other, and then when I make up my mind, you tell me just because I haven't voted guilty, you're gonna have me arrested. Now who's tampering with the jury?
Miss Sims, I'm gonna ask you one last time. Will you follow the law?
He threw me off the jury.
Just like that?
They brought in an alternate. It took them all of 5 minutes to convict that poor woman. Can you believe it? She's going to prison.
You're lucky the judge didn't throw your butt in there, too.
I wish he had. Not a jury in the world to convict me.
I told you not to return that summons.
Ooh, here it is. Here it is. Listen to this. U.S. versus Moylan, 1969. If the jury feels the law is unjust, we recognize the undisputed power of the jury to acquit, even if its verdict is contrary to the law as given by the judge and contrary to the evidence.
You're not gonna let this go, are you?
What do you think? Jurors have a right to their opinions, but they don't want people on the jury with opinions. Oh, no. They want sheep. But that's all right, because the pen is mightier than the judge.
Where are you going?
Down to the laundry room. I'm rewriting my column. I have a new topic. Justice and the jury.
Your HDL levels have increased. Triglycerides are down. Everything looks good.
I'm a little concerned about my blood pressure.
It's lower than ever.
What about my pulse?
You have one, and it's normal.
Is there anything else that I can or should be doing?
As a matter of fact, there is. I've had patients who think that CHD is some kind of wake-up call to change everything in their lives. They quit their job, divorce their spouses in an effort to live life to the fullest.
Yeah, well, what's wrong with seizing the day?
Nothing, except that 6 months later, they're usually miserable and more stressed out than ever. All I'm saying is, don't make yourself crazy looking for problems where none exist.
Wow!
Problem solved.
Did they return everything?
Almost everything. Anything that was larger or smaller than an actual size bill, they sent back. But they kept everything else. Including, I'm afraid...
Somebody owes me 20 bucks.
I promise I'm good for it. In fact, why don't you pick out something else you like?
You're kidding.
Thanks, Rene.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. I'll be back to get this out of here. Just let me know what you want.
Did I get any calls?
No, boss. Are you expecting to hear from someone?
No, just checking.
It's a lie. Don't believe it, Emmy.
But why would he lie and say that Miss O'Neill is in the Klan?
Because he doesn't want you to tell her. He knows she'll drop him like a hot potato. Now he thinks he scared you into not saying anything.
Well, he's right.
That's why you have to tell her.
But what if she really is in the Klan?
She's not. She said so herself. I'm the teacher's pet. But if you really think she's in the Klan, there's only one way to find out.
Then you have to come with me. I'm afraid he might have said something, to turn her against me.
Fine. We'll both talk to her. Miss O'Neill, can we talk to you?
Of course. We have a few minutes before the bell.
It's about Uncle Jimmy. He's in the Klan, Miss O'Neill. He goes to rallies, and he burns crosses on people's lawns.
He's even threatened my family.
tried to tell you last night, but he doesn't want you to know. He said you're in the Klan, too.
I have to get ready for class now, girls.
I know it's none of my business. We just thought you should know. You're not mad at us, are you?
Of course not. Now pass out these papers for me, please. Who wants to put their answers to last night's homework on the board? Darlene, why don't you do that? And who can tell me what the main industries were in Birmingham at the end of the 1800s? Anyone? They were coal and oil mining. We also had a cotton mill.
Here's my homework you asked me for. Of course, I left it to the last minute, just like I always did in school. I'm sure if I'd had a little more time that I could have come up with some more terrible things that happened to me.
My daughter got pregnant and married at 17. Aren't you glad to have a healthy grandbaby and a son-in-law who I'm sure adores your daughter?
Well, of course I am.
I almost divorced my husband. How about my husband and I worked on our problems and saved our marriage?
You know, I'm really not a negative person. I'm really not. Like when the tornado happened and my son was very upset because we lost everything, I told him, I said, honey, we just gotta be glad we're alive.
So you're able to put on a positive front for everybody else. But what do you do to make yourself feel better?
Besides eat?
Earlier you mentioned you felt terrible for being kicked off that jury.
If I had been there, she would not have been convicted.
So you felt that you could protect the defendant. Just like you felt that you could protect your son from his sense of loss. Maybe you're so busy trying to protect everybody else that the only protection left for you is in food. Eating is just a symptom of a larger problem. Once we figure out why you feel the need to protect yourself, you'll stop trying to do that with food.
Guess the real question is, what am I trying to protect myself from?
A broken heart? I didn't even realize I was pushing him away.
Well, and you know why? Because that's your pattern. Now I have to run. I have left Collier trying to proofread the latest version of my column.
Oh, and me, give the man a break.
Oh, you should talk.
Don't remind me, Turk still hasn't called me back.
Well, I don't think you're gonna get off that easily. Remember, he said he wasn't gonna let you break up with him.
So what am I supposed to do now? Just sit around and wait until he calls me?
Didn't we just get off this roller coaster?
I'm sorry, we did. Good night.
Good night. Hey, Rene, could you come out here a minute?
Let's try this again. Rene, I love you.
I love you.